Hello, this is Inspector Van Dieberger on Twitch and YouTube. Welcome back. We're doing exploration. We're currently in the middle of doing exploration. That's what we're doing. So, has two systems. It is the system that I'm a part of, and
ship recalled.
the system that I'm a part of, and then there is the neighboring system that I was headed to. That I wanted to conduct some exobiology and some scanning and stuff. Currently, we're trying to get one more scan of bacteria, and yeah, it's tough. It's really random. One way that you can do it is you can go to the objectives. You can go to the objectives and you can just check the area around there. I think that's what we're going to do from now on. It's going to be our flow. And if I'm not in a rush, which I'm not, then that's what we'll do. Alright. So. Now that it's sort of the beginning and I'm calm about it, I'm going to just relax. Yesterday I had discovered that, you know, biology can be stubborn. So.
Landing gear retracted.
So we just have to be patient, and we can't feel like we're gonna, you know,
Frame shift drive.
rush it, I think.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Okay, we're going to irregular markers. Thankfully, what we're looking for can be found just about anywhere. So we'll try to finish it up. We'll try to be thorough about it. Is it weird that I use heavy cream in my coffee? That can be weird, right? Probably fattening. I did 10 minutes on the bike today, I just want to say. I want to build it up back to 30 minutes, but I did 10. I just want to say, okay? I'm trying to give myself some props, man. Pat yourself on the back, treat yourself to some cookies. That's how that works, right?
Landing gear deployed.
29% fuel. Hey, Spicy. Yeah, stationary bike. It was snowing today. I don't have a bike, like a real bike. See something.
Low gravity warning.
Inventory, refinery, materials, encoded, synthesis. Refuel.
Fuel replenished.
That is tight. That is so tight. Select the destination and go and see here. Oh. Get some night vision. See what the hell's happening. Elite Dangerous went ahead and got a live stream, their devs live stream today, and told the world that they were going to be doing some more story content this year, that they're going to be adding new ships this year, they're going to be reworking the power play.
You have entered a trespass zone. Trespass zone cleared.
So basically a lot of people are happy, and if they accomplish everything that they said they were going to, then yeah, people will be very happy with the lead.
Target destroyed.
Fans, anyways.
Target destroyed. Warning, you have entered a trespass zone.
Currently, as you know, I was stuck here. I'm searching for bacteria. And I'm going to be using the points of interest as a way to look for that stuff. So I'm hoping that it comes up on my scanner from a distance. But if not, it's okay. Let's go ahead and... Oh, wrong button. Cargo scoop.
Cargo scoop deployed.
Platinum is illegal salvage. First time I've seen illegal salvage on platinum. all this stuff is illegal.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Alrighty. Let's put this stuff away. I need to find an SRV that has bigger cargo space, man. That's at all possible. Oh shit. My Cobra's full. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I actually have to go. Is there a I don't think there's anything on the system. Okay. Alright, let's board then. Excess cargo detected. Oh shit. God. An occupied escape pod. You know, I feel bad about that because, you know, somebody's in there, but it's illegal cargo, man. It's illegal. I wonder if they're in there. Maybe they're in cryo sleep and it doesn't matter.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Warning. Extremely low temperature detected.
Okay, we are going to go out.
Entering restricted area.
Scan the environment. Hold on, I'll be right back. My cat's having like a little bit of a like a coughing fit. So let me just look him up. All right. Alrighty. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to attend to my cat, who's having a bit of a coughing fit. Okay. Well, I'm back. I just finished a session of Dark Tide, and now I'm going into my Chill Elite Dangerous segment. Now, I've decided that I'm not going to stress it. Yesterday I was stressing it. I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to find what I'm looking for, hopefully. I think I won't always do it, you know. I'd rather not stress myself, but at the same time, I think yesterday or the day before, yeah, yesterday, I think I was just a little bit bummed out because it was like I had gotten into this half-finished bit of work towards the tail end of my stream, and you want to finish resolved, you don't want to finish a cast unresolved, a gaming session with things to do, just out of reach. So right now, I'm just scanning, taking a look, waiting for this thing to tell me what's up. Also found out that the SRV, I refueled my SRV for the first time. I synthesized fuel. I just did that now for the first time ever. That was cool. I'm not in my SRV because I found out that my ship's inventory is actually full. I've got to turn that stuff in. So I think what we could try to do is use my 300 meters. I'll use my ship as kind of like a focal point, and then I'll orbit around my ship at around the 300-meter mark. Plus, wait for things to hit, and that's it. I like how spooky the music is. I saw the updates on the Elite Dangerous, well, the clip notes from the Elite Dangerous stream today. A lot of people are excited. People are very excited. Apparently it was a success, met with a lot of positive responses. I'm very happy for them. Yeah. Today they said that they were going to be doing story content that would conclude the Thargoid War this year. They were going to add 4 new ships, they're going to do Power Play 2.0. So like the sort of meta simulation between the major powers and everything. That stuff, they're reworking it. And they have like 2 sort of secret features they're not ready to talk about that they're bringing to the game. So who knows? Who knows? But the general reception in the chat and later on in the Reddit and everything is positive. People are saying Elite is back. People are saying all this stuff. Obviously, the measured responses are let's wait and see, make sure that they actually execute everything that they want to this year. But, you know, it looks good. So that's fine. Now the rest of us are, I guess, for those people who like have renewed vigor, they are going back into the cast or into their sessions and just continuing on with a sense of purpose and curiosity and interest. What I'm of course very interested in is not just in the overt lore of the Thargoid situation, but also anything else, you know. So my goal is to continue to proceed sort of at my own pace, build up my elite ranks, and then yeah, see if I can hunt down some create some intrigue. Yeah. I also read that Elite tries to construct their narrative in association with the behavior of their gaming population. You know, so if they see people doing things roleplay wise, they might write up lore to support that roleplay, or even, you know, create systems, you know, create outposts or whatever that that kind of collide with the roleplay in question. I think that's exceptionally cool if that's the case, and my feeling. All right, let me get out to about 600 meters. Is that it would be a lot of fun to try to work with. People who with people who are into a kind of I don't know, who want to basically test that out. You know, this is with everything that exists in the game. It's not hard to have an imagination and wonder what's out there. All right, okay, we're almost there. Anyway, what's going on with you today, Star Enterprise? What's the word? I hope my ship doesn't take off. So on the one hand, I like the SRV because the SRV allows me to move, you know, longer distances faster, and I can just swivel the head around looking for the floor to blink and let me know that there's something to scan. The only reason that I like being on foot is the chances of me missing something are reduced, and I do a radial scan, which means essentially I only have to really point in one direction, and if I'm within range, there'll be a chime. There'll be a chime that is pretty noticeable. And then we'll say, yo, look around in your vicinity. So I think I like the radial scan and I like the more deliberate look. It's just you can cover more ground in the SRV, obviously. Oh, Kung Fu. You're in a Kung Fu school? You're learning Kung Fu? How many years you been training? Alright, I can get farther out. Nearly 8 years? Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. It's very cool, man. It's very cool. It's very cool. It's good fun. Would you recommend it as a way to stay fit, or as a way to, like, would you recommend it for people who are? Why is my ship? The ship's lights are weird, flashing like that. Put on your grind. Yeah, seriously. How many times do you go to a week? Okay, we are now. Well, we're still about 500 meters. I wanted to be closer to 600. And if it's not in this area, I don't know exactly how far out I want to go. I feel like 500 is probably more than enough. Twice a week? Okay. That sounds reasonable. Sounds reasonable. Alrighty. Headquarters? Oh, well, what's unique about the headquarters? There's also a tight sheet, which is great. If you want something less physical, well, I mean, I'm personally, I'm 40 years old, and I've got kind of like a little bit of a problematic shoulder and knees. Like my joints are acting up. Not bad. I can still do like bike, row. I can do weight training and stuff. Occasionally, if I don't warm up properly, I'll experience tightness. Like I could have a rough time. So I just have to make sure that I do some mobility stuff before exercise to warm up. Range of motion, make sure everything's whatever. But I would, I think if I had a choice, I would actually prefer something that was a little bit more demanding and that would test me. Crass Nidge 222. Can I call you Crass? I hope that's okay. Welcome. I am currently running in a circle in a radius on foot using my scanner to see if I can find some bacteria at night on a planet. This is not wise, I'm aware. Shouldn't everybody have to put up a photo on the wall? Oh, that's cool. Way to share in your combined glory. Anyway, I know this is not wise, but I got 2 scans yesterday, fairly back to back, and I was like, oh well, I'll just get the 3rd one. So, the 3rd one hasn't popped up. Let's just put it that way. So I am just now going to points of interest, looking for some luck to transpire. That's what's currently happening. I just want to get 1 scan. That's it. Currently grinding on Robigo. Can you explain to me what the Robigo grind is? I've heard this. I've heard of this repeatedly. People will just say Robigo on the Reddit. So apparently it's common knowledge, but I don't know what it is. Say now the cash engineering mat grind set tight. Ah, yes. I'm on that track too. I want to get the Corvette. But I haven't started. When I was on console, I got as far as the dropship, but so I just got started with the federal ships, but then I stopped playing for a while, and then late last year I finally got it on PC, this game, and but I had to start over because my transference didn't work properly. So. But yeah. Definitely want to be out there with a Corvette. It looks cool. It looks really cool. Do I have any tips for starting an elite? Well, I mean, I'm not even elite, But if I were to just talk about my personal experience restarting from scratch, one, I don't. I would say take it at your own pace, which I think is inevitable. Well, that's interesting. I lost the ability to scan. It went away. Oh, interesting. Okay, and what does that get you? So it's a you're like a Lyft driver. Repeat ad nauseum. Oh, yeah.
Shield activated. Suit battery low. Suit fully charged.
25 million credits a trip. I see. Yeah. So if I were to start, and if I were to say, I mean, the way that I play though is different. So the way that I play is for emerging gameplay. I don't do any streamlining or anything like that. You know, I like to take the game at its own pace. There's a lot of different tracks or gameplay loops that you can try out, you know, that are presented to you. If you just look at your if you just look at your if you just look at your, what is it, codex? You know, if you look at your codex and you go here, you'll see pretty clearly that you have 6 tracks that you can sort of, look at my guy. So serious, man. It looks like he looks tired. He looks about how I feel. Anyway, you've online, so maybe my playstyle differs. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, I mean, different playstyles. Like, I like emergent stuff, and I don't fast track, and I don't streamline, and I don't necessarily take handouts or help or anything like that. I like to slow things down and only contribute to team experiences when I'm of equal footing with my teammates in terms of gear and experience, or I have the ability to help others. But I don't necessarily, you know, I'm usually so busy that I don't have a lot of time to basically carry people. That's not what it is. It's more like somebody's taking on a challenging mission. We're of the appropriate level that might be interesting and fun, then I'll go for it. You know, if it's a little bit tough, and having a wingman is helpful. But I should say I haven't done any co-op yet. So anyway, when you start Elite, you just pick a faction, a government, or that you like, or whatever, and start doing missions. You know, try to stick with one so that you can build up influence at a regular pace and get more increasing, you know, higher missions, higher reward from that faction. And if you are a little bit OCD, in which you really like to kind of like maximize your trip as you're traveling through systems, you could honk the system and collect the system map data, which is something you can do just by landing in the system and then scanning. And you can also scan the nav beacons manually. You would have to come out of Super Cruise to do it, so it's a little bit longer. But what's cool about having downloaded the navigation data once is that actually gives you the trade data. And if you happen to be daisy chaining missions and you're traveling through the area where you have trade information, you can take advantage of your cargo space and bring commodities with you to sell to ports in that travel time, and then you could just make a little extra change on the way. Like, I like having trade data, so I will always scan navigation beacons as I enter new systems. A HOTAS setup? Oh yes, I'm okay. Well, I'm jealous, Kraz. I'm jealous because it's kind of like what I'd like to do.
Suit fully charged.
I'd like to do a HOTAS. Let me see if I can. So apparently, your gun or your the gene sampler uses energy in order to do that radial scan that it does. So you have to get back to your ship. I think. I don't know if there's another way to resupply or get that energy back. Do we know? If I'm low in this genetic sampler, is there something I can do? Okay, I think what I'd have to do is board. Yeah, I like a HOTAS. I'd like a HOTAS. One day. I'd like to at least try it.
Warning. Extremely low temperature detected.
That's weird. It just picks up again, but I can't see exactly where. It's gotta be a glitch. You know, like I can't see where there's battery that would decide whether or not my this gene sampler will work as intended. Alright. You know, Kraz, that has been a common response. I was just reading up in the on Reddit and seeing the general takeaway, the vibe is positive, and yeah, sentiment has been echoed where people are like, oh well, here, I'm gonna buy some ARCs. I want them to have money so that they can secure these changes, these initiatives that they put out there. What a unique way to get paid. Like, tell them, do you want to do some work? It's almost like a Kickstarter thing. It's like, these are our goals, our milestone goals, and then there's your stretch goals. What's been happening? Oh, that was the update that I was telling you about today. Well, the update wasn't today. It was news on what they were going to be doing in 2024 to progress Elite's story and content offerings. So like new ships, new mechanic rework, power play, and which is like their Game of Thrones type of thing. Yeah, so that is the big news, and that happened today. About the middle of the day, they had a stream, and then the notes went out on various social media channels. And so now we know. Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. You worked for them? Who? Eve, after working for them, I've tried others. I never played the 1984 League, but I want to read the books. I've decided that I want to go into the lore and learn what's going on. And you said you worked for the EVE Online? Both CCP games and also BioWare. Oh, tight. A dev. Wait, a dev? Or like in like HR, accounting, IT, something else? Were you a dev? Or were you like management? You know, or like accounting or something? Industry Insider. You was GM? Nice. Industry Insider. A game master? What does a game master do? Let's go down there and check. See if that little area down here has something of interest. Got a nice open plane. You had a problem with games, my job to investigate it and fix it. Oh, so like quality assurance type of thing. Do you enjoy the work? Bug reports, yeah, I would imagine. You don't do it anymore? Ah, okay. Curious, if you work on a game in that faction, or in that fashion, excuse me, does that change your ability to enjoy the finished product? You know, sort of like you're in the kitchen cooking and then you lose a taste for the meal you're making, or you're trying to make a movie, but then you know you are close to the project, so you kind of like lose track of the big picture. Seven years in the industry. Yeah, that's sad to hear. Jobs like this past season, the beginning of the year, so many layoffs in so many places, and it's yeah, it's real sad, man. Hearing some of the stories on Twitter, people talking about, especially with like FDev recently laid off some folks, you know, so there's a lot of speculation about whether or not they were going to give us good news. I mean, I'm glad that the company is making it work, but at the same time, you know, the company is made up of a certain level of quality and talent and community, and when that has to be broken apart, that's sad. The Old Republic? You cannot watch a Star Wars movie? Oh my god, let alone play the game. You worked on the Old Republic? That's tight. That's such a loved experience, but that's an interesting takeaway from that. And I guess it makes sense. Such a beloved title, man. That's like, yeah, that's like BioWare's form, you know, like true to form. Look at you. Yeah, that sounds like a bummer. What do you think about indie development? Would you ever have considered trying to start your own thing? I mean, you see the success with like games like Lethal Company, right? They're saying that that single dev may have walked away with something like $35 million from that project. Happy with stable employment. God bless you, man, and congratulations, man. I'm happy to hear that you're on solid ground. Like I said, it's world is changing. A lot of people are getting caught out there. You're 14? 14? Wait. You're 14 and you've been practicing Kung Fu for, would you say 8 years? Oh, almost 8 years. Wow, man, that's cool. Damn. That is really cool. You're gonna carry that all your life. Star, are you thinking about teaching Kung Fu when you get older? You get happier playing games and working on them? Kraz, I would imagine so. I would imagine so. The finished product are kind of immersive and what the hell was that? You ready to teach? Ah, nice. I have a whole roster of educators. That sounds like fun. I think I would like to get my. I need to work on my discipline because I had a notion of what I wanted to do. So I went to school for creative writing and film production, and I've been a lifelong gamer. I graduated in 2015, and my life took some turns, and so the whole practice kind of shut down. You know, and my portfolio is in arrested development and a whole bunch of stuff. I won't go into it, but basically, I have an interest in narrative design, and I know how hard it is. I mean, I've been reading a lot about, you know, I mean, it used to be that you had to learn how to code before you would even get let into the door, you know. So I don't know how to code, but I think I would like to take a course, not to work in the industry so much as to maybe have a way to create a proof of concept, you know, and then see if I can, you know, put a team together if I wanted to do something. It's easy when you play a lot of games to come up with ideas, but then again, I have no concept of what it actually takes to get it to the finish line, you know. So I'm not right now. It's just speculation. I just happen to have some time on my hands. Although I'm a new father, so that's another big consideration. You're still learning? I would imagine. So, after 8 years, it's probably, and also you're growing too. So I would imagine that doing kung fu, as a young man, versus doing kung fu as an instructor and as an adult, probably has some different, you know, emphasis. So many opportunities in the gaming industry. I mean, I hope, but I mean, the impression that I get is that it's very difficult to sustain yourself. This is why I'm like, when you see what happened with Lethal Company, it's a great, inspiring story, but it's also kind of one in a million. You never quite know, like, what game is gonna pop off. There's a game that I really like called Witchfire. And it's an extraction first-person shooter set in a dark fantasy setting where you play as something like a witcher, and you have to go through maps, pulling out resources and building up your character in an attempt to get through various regions so that you can eventually go to the map where the witch is in and then take her down. And along the way, you create your build and you get more and more comfortable with different maps until you can efficiently take down the bosses of each map, and that all leads in the direction of trying to take down the witch, and it's pretty hard. Well, it's challenging, I'll say that. That game is in early access, and I think it's really good quality even as we speak. But then you take a look at Lethal Company, which is a game that doesn't look nearly as polished. It's just a one-man team, and the concept's just kind of funny, but it really depends on what you put into it, you know, how people get along talking to each other and whatnot. And the success of that game is kind of ridiculous. Does everything Star Citizen does? Mm-hmm. Star Citizen. I haven't played Star Citizen. One day, I will give it a whirl. I am curious how it pairs, but I think probably what Star Citizen really needs from me is just compelling lore. I'm very big on intrigue, you know, the qualities of a story that make you want to be a part of it. You know, what's the question? What are the answers? Why do we care? So, if Star Citizen supports a really good story, I will definitely be interested to pull a plug on it and get started. I almost went in on a sale that they had over the holiday season, but I had actually made a couple of different investments. Looks pretty damn good. What's the name of the game? Spaceborne 2. Why does that sound familiar? Oh my god. I think I saw a trailer for that. I think I saw a trailer for that. Do you fight interdimensional horrors, like alien horrors in space? Yeah, you fight space monsters in your ship, almost like Star Fox. Not gotten that far with it. Okay. On Xbox? No, he said it was on PC. I think I've seen the trailer for that game. Yeah. Space games are cool, man. I like as a change of pace, I like Stellaris, which is a 4X space sim. Sort of like an RTS. I like sci-fi horror. So Dead Space. So I will try to like switch things around every so often. There was a game on Xbox Game Pass called Chorus, which was a dogfight game. It was kind of I don't know what we'd call that, like a starfighter shooter type of game. Stellaris is on your wish list. I like it a lot. I mean, everything happens from the screen where you're watching things unfold on the galaxy, but they did a lot of really good writing in that game. You know? Spaceborne's $20. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. You say there's early access, so they're still working on it. Getting it later this week. Oh man, I'm still in the. I was really enjoying the campaign that I was on, and then I haven't been back because other things came up. So, and I need to squeeze out some time on the stream for it. I like it a lot. I think they put a lot of heart into that game, and yeah, it's cool. It is cool. Forced Unleashed. Oh my god, what a throwback. Okay. What a throwback. Yeah, I have those. It's crazy. My favorite throwback Star Wars game was Republic Commando. Republic Commandos early on, I think in like the Xbox era, and I remember really enjoying it. I actually replayed it. God, was it on Game Pass or was it? I think it's just part of my backlog. Everspace? No, I have not heard of Everspace. What kind of a game is Everspace? Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Everspace is on Game Pass? Oh, really? Then Disney came along. Exactly. They retconned in fiction, Disney cut off the extended universe in the literary space. So many writers had contributed to the Star Wars IP. So many novels were out there that were not canon. Games like Force Unleashed or the Jedi Outcast games, which were really cool on PC, all of a sudden not canon. Couldn't be canon if you wanted to. There are other Star Wars games that I remember from that era, like Shadows of the Empire, where you take the role of, I think he's a smuggler. But that was a cool game. I remember thinking that they did a really great job with that. Because you don't play you don't play the Jedi, you don't play the Chosen One. You're some scrappy dude, more in the line of Han Solo, and you gotta take on Boba Fett. You gotta do all this stuff. You gotta do these heists. I forget. Shadow of the Empire was cool. Lots of style. Jedi Outcast games with I think that Jedi's name was Cal Katarn or whatever. He got like a number of games. Now you can pick up the whole set. A lot of really great Star Wars storytelling before Disney took over, and yeah, I envision a universe where they still did things on their own terms, Let me look up Everspace real quick, just so I can see what we're talking about here. Let me see here. Everspace 2. God. Oh, this looks like Chorus.
I am a military clone. One of the few left after cloning was abolished.
Spaceship shooter.
I know you're no better than any mercenary. I have my suspicions who you're working for. Name your price.
There will be no negotiating.
Mm-hmm.
Turn back and keep to your own affairs. You have been warned.
I like the voice acting. Yeah, this is tight.
You obviously have no understanding of what's at stake here.
That's tight.
Millions will die.
When the dust of
That's tight. Empire at War? No. Empire at War. That's another one. Look at all these games. This is cool. Scenario RTS? From 2006. Is that also on Steam? Or is that on console? Empire at... I don't see it on Steam. Oh, Star Wars Empire at War. Okay, I see it's a Star Wars game. Made 3 remake mods? Oh, so it looks different. Man, I gotta give it up to modders out there. The work that, I mean, I guess when I think of modding, I think of Skyrim, and how different that game looks today after people have had their fill with it. I guess that's how you get into game development. You kind of take a shot. I think. I see, that's what I want to add to my portfolio. I want to take a couple of games, and I want to add on spec narrative, you know, like quests and how they would unfold, and then just have that as part of my portfolio as examples. I don't know if I'd be any good at it. I just know that I know how I want to feel going on a quest. And I think I would just try to get close to that feeling. When I go out, when I go on a quest, I want to feel like destiny is calling me. I don't want everything. Even if it starts off like a fetch quest, at some point, I want there to be something close to something. Something bespoke, you know. Some Cyberpunk modders got hired. Yeah. Well, congrats to them. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Getting hired. I mean, getting hired in the age of being let go, you know, it's always nice. End up fixing the final product. Look, Starfield. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that you know, I think there's a little bit of a burn to the console community because, you know, they don't have access to the mods the way that the PC gamers do. And I mean, whatever, it's fine. It's like your ability to enjoy games should be on the finished product. But yeah, it does make you wonder. You know, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. I mean, I think when you're inside a development scenario, I gotta imagine that it's like a pressure cooker. You know, the real goal is getting something passable out the door, and all the inspiration comes with risk. Can you pull it off? Is it gonna be cool? People who have the freedom to do things, to engage, to experiment on ideas and concepts, where, you know, a shareholder is not on the other end of that going, yeah, but, you know, this is gonna explode the budget, yada yada yada. I mean, it's useful. You get a lot from the mod community, from independent people taking a crack at it. Okay. I'm about ready to drop down on a new environment. I didn't want to leave. I didn't realize my inventory was filling up on my ship. Okay, let's get some solid ground, some flat land. In Plebis, there's no happy medium. I hear that, man. This is why I don't, you know, like if I have an idea or if I have a consideration, if I think that there was like an obvious layup that got overlooked in a gaming experience that I have, I just go right to the forums, specifically where they ask for feedback, and then I try to leave a respectful conceptual idea. You know, I don't know how things work on their end when they're looking through that stuff, but I know that I think it's very important to be respectful, because you got a lot of serious professionals that are collaborating and making a product that most people wouldn't even dream of. And the fact that it comes out and not checking all their boxes, well, okay, nice, but what have they done lately? You know, and this is, I think there's a bit of tangential respect just because I went to school and I took production. So I was working on like, I think at the end my count was something like 35 or 36 student or prosumer production. So basically, you know, people working on projects that weren't a part of the industry and, you know, just getting started, you know, playing around with equipment. And I worked on a lot of productions that were in the like the $15,000 range, all the way to productions that were in like the $70,000 range, and obviously some low budget stuff outside as like a PA that was, you know, in higher brackets but still indie cinema. And yeah, so if I think about a production environment, man, I do not assume anything, because that like they were slacking or they don't care or some shit like that, because yeah, it's just not the case, man. A lot of good work's being done. Half done, try to please both parties, we see what happens. Exactly. And it can be depressing. Oh my god. Moderating the forums? Yeesh. Oh, bro, that's so tough. God bless you. It's tough. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Alright, we're gonna go to a different spot on the planet. No, actually we're gonna go to a place with commodities. And then I guess sell some stuff and then come back. War Thunder? Classified military documents? Oh, what is this drama? Hello, ship. Never ask a War Thunder player to prove it. God. Yeah. funny.
Loading game retracted.
All right, let's see here. Let's just scan the environment real quick. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So you never know. Maybe we'll see the flash of recognition. Yes. Yes, the Cobra. Oh. Careful. Impact. Cobra. I currently also have in my fleet, I have a keelback, I have a vulture. I'm looking for the, I have a DBX scout currently. But these other ships are not outfitted yet. So I am taking my time. But ultimately what I'm gonna end up with are both crates, the crate MK2 and a Phantom. I'll end up with a Corvette and perhaps a Type 10, and I'll outfit that stuff for a variety of purposes across the elite spectrum. And maybe I hear an Anaconda is great for mining, although I don't know if I'm going to get into mining. Python MK2, yeah, that new ship. The new ship designs look sexy. They're great. I wonder what they're going to be good at, and I wonder what they're going to be purposed for. Like what new content might be driving. I mean, I know people just want new ships just to have new ships, but at the same time, I think that ships, they serve a role, and they tend to specialize. You know, so is this going to one up the ships that are currently that are currently out there, and is it going to, or will it coincide or somehow, you know, make room for some new gameplay loop that we haven't seen yet? My Type 10 Death Star, Death Star, nice. That's cool. There were battleships in the lead. I mean, they have carriers, but I don't think the carriers come armed, do they? The Federation Corvette. Yeah, the Federation Corvette is kind of like a big ship. You can put a lot of lasers on there. I mean, there's a lot of hard points, right? PvP spaceship. You know, there was one called Dreadnought, and it was like a space hero shooter, and I thought that the concept for Dreadnought was really cool. Much like you would in like Overwatch or something like that, Overwatch or For Honor, you would pick a class of vessel that fit a role on a team, and then you would deploy and play that role. And you had vessels that could basically function as tanks or snipe or whatever. But you know, they had cool names, and they fit kind of naval categorization. Dreadnought lost support and funding or something like that. Like they didn't make it, and really that's it was unfortunate, because Dreadnought, I thought, had promise, and it was doing something that hadn't really been done yet. The battles were fun, you know, but they were not able to sustain themselves, and eventually they had to scrap the game. So I mean, I guess it was so niche still, you know, from a new developer, that it wasn't really, you know, I don't know. What are we on, 1? We're on 1, right? I wonder if I leave and come back, if it will reset my progress. Is Homeworld a bit like that? I don't know what Homeworld is. Overwatch Tank Edition. Project CW. I'm not aware of that. Anyway, maybe by Wargaming. I'm not familiar. I'm not sure, like, you know, I've been trying to figure out like what's the perfect game, like what I'm 40 myself, you know, and this is the first year where I almost want to say that I'm done with new experiences. My backlog is jam-packed, and you know, because it's hard to keep up with all the content. Like every game wants to be your sole occupation now. I do want to play Helldivers 2. I do want to play Nightingale. I have some other, I guess, Space Marine 2 when it drops. There are some experiences that I want to get in. I want to see what Elite does in general. But yeah, I mean, I wonder at this point in time, you know, having played games since I was a kid, I wonder what's the experience that I've always been looking for. I don't even know. Like, you know, I guess something like this, but maybe just a little bit more story driven, a little bit more, with a game that could rapidly respond to story development. I don't think we've quite seen that. Can be tiring. Oh yeah, this is why to the degree that it has been, content consumption as a career has sort of taken a rise, has arisen, excuse me. I mean, I obviously there are a lot of people, the par for the course is you don't make it. Being content creator or anything like that in the space is very challenging, because almost every category within the space is saturated very quickly, and at the end of the day, who really has time for derivative stuff? If you have limited time, I want the game. I don't want the million and one opinions about the game. The solitude Elite offers. Yeah. Oh yeah. I suppose that's, well, the solitude. I mean, well, the single player experience, you mean? Or do you mean like the atmospheric solitude, like being on a planet by yourself and just looking around, that sort of thing, as opposed to just playing solo? Star Wars lore? Oh, well, that is until maybe you go down the rabbit hole with Warhammer 40k and get into all that, or even, you know, like the Dead Space remake. Dead Space was set to usher in a world that was big enough even for like spin-offs and stuff, and then they got pushed to make a game that they really shouldn't have, and then another one, you know, to create a trilogy that was kind of missing a lot of what made the first game special. But there was a successful remake, and so the question is whether or not they're going to get it right this time. You know. expectations from others. Yeah, I play in solo as well. I've had a lot of people that have come in and wanted me to join their squadron, or wanted me to get in their ship and then take me somewhere, and I'm like, how do I say that I currently, at least while I'm re-exploring the game, am fully invested in the I mean, I guess I just say that, which I have been saying, but this game gives you a lot of meat to just digest on your own terms, you know. So yeah. Got too much? A second job with too many expectations from other people? Yeah. When I was playing World of Warcraft, that was my first experience with that kind of phenomenon. You know, the community phenomenon, which has, I think, changed the face of gaming ever since. You know, I mean, before that it was Final Fantasy XI Online, and for some of my friends it was Star Wars Galaxies back in the day. Before the rework, it was this more deliberate sim type of affair that really cast a spell on a lot of hardcore Star Wars enthusiasts, and then they did a rework which kind of made it more casual, and it lost some of its appeal. But ultimately, Star Wars Galaxies was a big draw as an from the outside. But then WoW came in, and that really that was it, man. I played that for about 4 or 5 years, almost exclusively. Didn't have time to play anything else, and I was a guild leader and a raid leader, and yeah, good times, times that will always I'll always have in my mind.
Landing gear deployed.
The researching house having fun, yeah, indeed. And it's rewarding when you figure out what works for you. You know. I mean, and I think that's well, it's interesting because it has less to do with the game. It has more to do with the gamer. For example, I experienced getting carried and having games ruined for me from people who wanted to quote unquote help. When I was playing Ark, the survival game, and Borderlands 2, folks would try to join my game and give me a bunch of these really powerful weapons that I couldn't even use. Or in Ark, they kind of would I had somebody in a flying unit kind of pick me up. Oh, hold on. In their, against my will, in their flying mount thing, and then show me their base where they had already built all the things that I was just daydreaming about, and sort of kill the whole fun for me, Look at all this crap, and none of it's what I'm looking for, but maybe it's close by. I remember actually meeting some of my guildmates from my guild during the Cataclysm period, the original Cataclysm period, and we actually went to Atlantic City together, and yeah, we did karaoke. It was cool. Carried? Oh yeah.
Break is on.
Wow. Yeah, no, that would suck. That would suck. Like, if you play World of Warcraft, much like Cyberpunk did with Edge Runners, or League of Legends did with Arcane, I remember reading the Sunwell trilogy. No, War of the Ancients. The War of the Ancients fantasy trilogy, the fiction series. Early on in my WoW phase of life. And having all these depictions of all these characters that were NPCs walking around and having an agenda and doing certain things in World of Warcraft made that game stand out so much to me. When you really know, like, the Horde side of the whole debate, you know, more from the Night Elves to their leadership, how Illidan came to be Illidan, and then to see him in the game, you are not prepared, and the Burning Crusade expansion. Oh man, that was so sick. That was so sick. It made so much more sick because of what we learned about him and his brother and that whole drama. How he got that way. Oh yeah, that was one of the key upsells to World of Warcraft, is that you didn't need a particularly powerful rig to run it. You know, and yeah, it was smart, very smart. Oh, what? World of Warcraft? Oh my god, it's a phenomenon. I mean, I don't know if it has the same impact that it did for me back in the day. I remember queuing up for the first Alterac Valley, and oh man, I think I stayed home from school for that. It seems so cool. Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea now.
Break is on.
Is it the visuals, or is it the gameplay mechanics, or some of the activities that that they've designed? Is it the UI? What just is the big difference in Dragonflight today compared to what you remember from let's say Wrath of the Lich King? Oh man. They rank gold on you. Characters seem to get OP pretty quickly, and builds seem dumbed down. I'm the ruined combat rogue. Okay, that's unfortunate.
Handbrake is on.
Yeah, so every class had a few different ways that you could specialize them. You know, for example, a paladin could be support, or it could be you know, with heals and stuff like that, and a tank, uh, or a DPS. I think it was called like a retribution paladin. So rogue is one of the specializations. Combat rogue, excuse me. I like this music. You mentioned flora and fauna before. There is flora. That's part of what I'm looking for right now. This planet has just one instance of it.
Handbrake is on.
Oh, excuse me. Subtlety and assassin? Yes, I believe you're correct. My first character was a hunter, and then I went into all the tanking characters because after
Assist on. Drive assist off.
a while of being in the back row,
Brake is on.
when my initial foray into WoW, I was like, I want to get smashed in the face by a big boss foot. That's fun. Not that I was trying to get hurt, but. Man, it's like it's depleted. It's out there somewhere, you know? Four key rotation. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dodging. Oh, well, like Dark Tide. Hold on a second. I'll be right back, guys. I need a few minutes. Hang tight. We'll continue this convo in a sec. Hello there, people. Hello. Yes. We're talking about like fraudulent, like, gold farmers and stuff. Fraudulent accounts. The wide world that is,
Handbrake is on.
shouldn't be here either. Alright, you know what? This might be a good opportunity. I think I'm gonna run an experiment. What I can't tell is of whether or not the sections of map that I jump in on are procedurally generated or not. I know that the events are procedurally generated. They seem to repopulate after a certain amount of time of like clearing up events. Like new events will pop up, or maybe all events are on a timer. I'm not sure, but. Disney, yeah, you know, but you know what? I think, here's what I think about that. Star Wars was a product of a specific generation. You know, a specific generation born in a moment of, I guess, genius, in how symbolism married form in the age of the blockbuster, you know, and it's a product that reflects that time, and it reflects those interests, and it reflects, you know, I mean, if you just look at how people attended the movie, if you look at those clips of people standing outside the theater, you know, I mean, there was just this buzz. The novelty of everything that was Star Wars has definitely worn off. We're in a new time where it's not like we can't have that again, but it needs to be something that takes symbolism into a form that, and when I say symbolism, I'm talking about the Joseph Campbell stuff, you know, the hero with 1,000 faces, the stuff that Star Wars is based off of. You take that and you interpret that through a lens that we need today. We need more than we realize. And that's going to take somebody writing something and a studio taking a risk on something that we haven't yet seen, you know, to create the epic and the journey that's going to be sort of catching our attention for the next 30 to 50 years easy. Bless you. There are some notable exceptions to this feeling that like Star Wars has played out. I think the Rogue, what is it? Andor, that series. I like that series a lot. It's based off of the Rogue One, plot line, and I think it's very cool. I like Rogue. I like Andor. I was glued to that show. And I'm trying to figure out if there are any other storylines that are like speaking to me. But I I don't know. There's this new Star Wars game that's coming out called, I think it's called Outlaws, and I mean, we'll see. You know, we'll see how that feels. You know, they have a heroine. They've taken the you know, the gritty, snarky smuggler type and have given the role to a female in the main space, which I don't think we've seen before. And she's a crook trying to get by under the Empire's watch, and we'll see how it plays out. And another series that I think surprised me in how good it was Clone Wars, the half-hour cartoon series that is that now you can watch the whole thing on Disney Plus. And I guess the Bad Batch by association. Really impressed with that. I learned so much more about what was going on, and every show there was a lesson. The Star Wars these cartoons are really cool. You guys with a lot of disposable income living out their fantasy and living out their fantasy. 60. Man, the MMO fantasy. I wish that no, you know what? I'm not gonna say that I wish. It would be interesting if Elite Dangerous did crossover events. Like if they took, let's say, The Expanse and had something going on in one of their, like a storyline going on in one of their, you know, one of the sectors beyond, you know, beyond the bubble. You know, outside of the inner Orion, you know, whatever you would come across, and it would be the quest line would be reminiscent of what happens in The Expanse. You know, there might be a missing girl, there might be a mystery, you know what I'm saying? And they could create some rewards or some things you could find that would remind you of the show, and maybe you would have access to a unique ship or something like that. I think they could do that for different sci-fi series. They could take plots from different known franchises, and they could even do that with Star Wars to a certain degree. You know, Luke Skywalker and the game offered that. Which game was this? I'm sorry. I think I missed that post. Oh, man, stay forever young, dude. You know? I can't believe I'm 40. You know? And when I was 30, I was like, what is this? You know? Star Wars The Old Republic? Ah, yeah. The MMO, I started to play that a little bit, because I heard that the story was good. In fact, it was giving at the time the reputation that Final Fantasy XIV has now, which is like being known for its single player quest line. But I didn't get into it because what I was met with early on in the game was more of that like WoW clone, you know, fetch quests, this and that kind of thing. And at that particular time, I had a PC that could like kind of barely run it. I mean, it was a really old hand-me-down. I was struggling. I didn't have much going on at the time. So eventually, I kind of like let it go. I know that they've been talking about a remaster of the KOTOR games for a long time. I don't know if they'll ever pull it off. But I think that KOTOR as a prompt should remain, and new stories should be born within it. You know, I don't see why. I think BioWare, you know, BioWare is going through such a what is the identity of BioWare today, man? Like, what do we know? What is BioWare going to be known for now? Like, what's the last thing they did? Anthem? What have they done since then? $19 in your That's funny. 19, man. The disaster that was Anthem, man. You know, it's weird. It's like I think about Anthem, and in my head, it still looks good. Like it looks good on paper. Like it's a good idea. It looked cool. It was flashy. You know. I feel like the idea with Anthem and the what is it, the Anthem of creation, all that stuff. You know, it was like all those environmental effects. You know, the flying around. It looked good. It was, you know, it was good on paper. Like in your mind, like, you know. And then you play it, and you're like, what? What is this? Anthem is one of these games that you will regularly find on sale for like $1 and get the whole thing. Never heard of it? Oh man. Yeah, Anthem was trying to be Destiny or Warframe. It was somewhere in between that. And it had these mechanized, these exosuits that are they were called javelins. And you were God, you were, I forget what was the term, but you were like I forget what the term for the pilot was. Not a free, I forget what it was, but you were you were type of like, you were kind of like a you were part of a faction that responded to threats on this world, that this pocket of humanity that had settled on. And I don't remember if it's because of a crash landing or whatever. I think initially Anthem began as a plot to Mass Effect that then kind of spiraled and became its own game at a time when BioWare was, I think, trying to vie for the Destiny market share. Shadowrums with Dead by Daylight beat the app. Oh, interesting. Shadowrums, was it like Dead by Daylight? Was it an asymmetrical competitive horror title? The game that I lament so much not being in the space to this day, a franchise that needed to exist then and certainly does now, could still hold up, is Evolve. That was the asymmetrical sci-fi monster versus shooter, or PvP shooter. And I still have you can't pick up that game now digitally. So I have a physical copy, and I'm just like, how the fuck? It was doing what it was doing so well. They just got the marketing and the monetization confused, because they were like first out the gate with that. Evolve was so good. By the devs, as a game, it was solid. Dude, as a game, it was fun, man. I mean, I can pop that in anytime, and I can have some solid fun on that game. I just think that they were new to the space, in terms of monetization, in terms of the, you know, just the persistent world stuff. And I mean, look, you even have games like Overwatch today, which are having problems. You know, you think you have a solid formula, and then you start to get creative, and you know, it's like, okay, the audience does not like that, or this or that. Knowing to set a private service for it. I mean, the thing is that if you play, you will find people still playing on occasion. It's just not a, you know, it's just, you got to get lucky, you know, because the people who are playing are just like, let me just check this out and see, you know. So you'll get a few solid games every once in a while if you pop it in. But yeah, that game is really great. You kind of play Warframe. Warframe is the freaking GOAT right now, man. They're so smart. I can't play all the time because that game just wins all the time, and it will never end. And I don't know, like you have to peel off every so often. I really like Warframe. I think if and from a standpoint of like content creation, the Warframe camps are so solid right now and well established that it is difficult to I think play and pull an audience. But I so respect what Digital Extremes has done because it really is a model, man. It's out there. It's independent. It's innovative. They keep doing things to the formula that add to it without really taking away too much. And they allow you to farm for all the fancy shit, you know, that other people pay platinum for. Which creates a space for everybody to be involved, which is great. We're gonna go now. Okay, Star Enterprise. Hey, same here, man. Thank you for the conversation, and I appreciate it, man. Have a good night. Take care. I hope to see you again. Everything at Manchester pushing your face would be. Black Desert is a shining example. Try to be on tomorrow night. Cool. I hope to see you then. Oh, Black Desert Online. I played that. I played that, and I was into it for a while. I bought underwear for my characters for some reason, for some strange reason. Good night, Star. Fare thee well, sir. But BDO, the problem I had with BDO was that I had more fun trading for some strange reason than I did in combat. Now the combat was great. I mean it's really got great combat for whatever, but killing like 3,000 enemies in a grind fest was putting me to sleep. And I wish that you didn't have to do so much of that to get progress in the game. You could focus on, you know, maxing out your character sooner and then having some solid core loop end game activities that are just fun because they're fun to play. You know, you've earned your character, you know, you've earned your character's strength, so now you just got to bring them out here to do this and that. I found like their first attempts at dungeons were a little bit convoluted, and they went from like no dungeons to like 4-hour dungeons. I mean, from what I could see, the completion rates. Obviously, if people were experienced, then fine, but in the beginning, when people were figuring that shit out, it took a long time. So it wasn't really both PvP and endgame PvE weren't beginner friendly, and I really wish that they would have gone backwards to the opening stages and kind of worked in some of that stuff in a meaningful way so that you could grow into those, like, you know, PvP without the stat requirements. That took a while to get set up. Then they had the Archer service, and then they had the Red Battlefield, and you know, but that was all gear rated, so they needed to make something. And then they had like the test servers or something like that allowed people to PvE with pre-made maxed out characters, and that kind of gave us the option. But they didn't do any like leveling up dungeons that you can get in on co-op early. I don't know, man. No option when you want to progress? Well, when you say no option, what do you mean? You're talking about to keep up with the Cronstone situation? Eventually, with the seasonal stuff, they did away with a lot of that stuff with the seasonal stuff, and with the oh god, what was that? The Kaphra stones. So now you have ways to grind up through the upper ranks of power to get access, so that you can get to the point where you're in every zone. And making money, well, there's a lot of that, and people are still putting stuff up on the market. So it's the whole Cronstone thing really now has more to do with time than anything else. But that being said, how much time are you willing to grind just so that you can tango with people that have paid and gotten their advantages early? Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. Efficiency, pay for efficiency. Yeah, that is pay to win. That is pay to win, absolutely. Like, I'm glad that they gave us different avenues, and that kind of mitigates it because it's like, well, okay, instead of being butthurt about this and still having to work the market, at least I have these other avenues that I can go after. But in all that time, what you're not doing is going toe to toe with people who bought their stuff. And I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, I'm sure that the people who have excess money to do that with are happy. So that's some demographic, and they're a paying demographic. It's kind of hard to ignore them from a business sense. But yeah, I don't. It's not community. It's not a community first approach, and so it's gonna cool your jets when it comes to how you feel about the devs. All right. War Thunder on Preview Planes back in the day. War Thunder. I didn't play War Thunder. What kind of game is that? Is that a tank game? Or is it like Battlefield or something? I think I've heard of it. Is it like vehicles during historic wars? Like what's the premise there? Yo, how is this place so ripe with so much junk? Silver for tanks, planes, and ships. Okay, got it. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I think that if there's one thing that developers can do amidst the pressure to create monetization angles, if they can find a way to make it so that you can still have your fun with the common, quote unquote, common stuff, the starter stuff, or the stuff that is not paid, not paid stuff. I mean, I think it's kind of funny because, like, a person will buy something because it looks cool or it looks like it advances their agenda, and then they'll get into a match with somebody that doesn't have it, assume something, and then get their ass kicked anyway. And I suppose that's kind of satisfying for the people who don't want to spend the money. Like, I kicked your ass anyway. Thanks, devs. You know, for not completely nerfing the non-pay-to-win stuff. And I don't think every company does that. I think some companies, I think like Pearl Abyss, the Blacklist, I think they reward people who spend money. 40,000? 40K? 40K kills? I like that number. Nice round number. With some nerd reference there. Warhammer 40K fans, I fucking found you, bitch. I fucking found you. Excuse me, my excitement is now escalating. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, let me get out of here. What the hell? Did it just was it just here and then it wasn't here? Dude. Oh, this is it right here. It was very much in front of me. Behind you. You made about 100 million credits. Well, okay. Okay. I get what you're saying. But it doesn't matter, because I have accomplishment. My stubbornness is paid off. Series. Sample complete. Yeah, bitch. I found you. Corvette is about 180 mil and 1 billion to engineer and fit out. Oh, so you 1 billion, huh? So you're like about a tenth of the way. That's good progress, man. That means only 90% remaining. It's 10% you won't have to worry about ever again. 1 billion. Progress is progress, man. That's good shit. I gotta get started on my federal stuff. I gotta get starting from scratch. I only just joined the superpower a couple days ago. Man, that's finally done. My God. Okay.
Check recalled.
You have 1.6 billion credits now. Oh, well. Oh, so then you have the billion. You finished up your savings then. Just cushioning the eventual. I see. Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. A federal Corvette. Hey, what you gonna do when you have your Corvette set up? What you gonna do? They say the Thargoid War is coming to a close. I didn't know if you were gonna use it for Thargoid. Maybe you're just gonna use it for general combat. But what's the plan there, man? How do you wanna? How do you take advantage of having the Corvette? Trash combat zones in style? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. See, people are saying, like, when am I gonna enjoy some squadron stuff? After I get my shit together. And then we can just show up in style and blow some shit up, like you said. That's when I would do it. I actually was thinking that what I would like to do also for the exploration stuff is I would like to convene for people who are down a space exploration trip. I'm saying this now, and I don't actually know if I want to do this, but I think it sounds like a cool idea to me. I think I want to pick like a sector, right? Like this one, you know, or this one, or some shit, right? I just want to pick a sector. What's my codex? Discovery. I want to pick a sector. Like the Perseus arm. Just any sector. I don't care what it is. I'm going to pick a sector. The Formidine Rift. And then I'm going to take a fleet carrier to that place. Right? And if I go there, there have been so far 69 astronomical bodies found. 411 biological and geological stuff, right? So let me see here. So basically, go there with a science team with the goal of beating this number. So 23 reported, we want to hit 25, you know? So we can go to all these places, remove them from the list, and then you know, because it tells you where this is. So you go there, remove it from the list, then filter your own map to show all the places that you haven't been, then add like 10% to that. And then we can kind of say, okay, we're going to regularly rotate into different sections, and then just kind of push the envelope on the discoveries. Because what's great about this, you can see what other people have done, get what they've done knocked out, and then go and look up new stuff. And if you do it with a full carrier of explorers, then you could really, you know, maximize and in an organized fashion the map exploration. And what I think is that there might be hidden lore in all that space. Probably the clues are in the bubble, but there might be hidden lore out in the black, stories that need to be told, you know? Now, maybe I'm just making that shit up, but that's going to be what we would write and promote in the hopes that FDev would take our blog or our journey, you know, seen on YouTube or whatever the case is, and then feed into it as they are known to do by working with the community and the writing team, and create mysteries in every section that we spend enough time in and develop enough theory in. And then and I would probably use the astral planes content from Stellaris as an inspiration. No one has found it yet? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So we would find a section. We would just take this number, make sure that everybody, you know, gets the number. So if it's 23 reported, we come away with 23 confirmed. Do like another, I don't know, add to it by a certain amount, whatever seems fair. And then you know, bring that information back, sell it, make some money, and do that. Go roundabout. Spacefaring Indiana Jones, yeah, something like that. And if and it's sort of like in Starfield. What's that team? I forget their name, but you know, the team that you join that goes and finds the ancient artifacts that make your dude into like a god, basically. That team, you know, they're going out there exploring all the stuff, and then maybe, right, suggesting to FDev that we put some strange or alien things, some weirder phenomenons, some supernatural stuff, some metaphysical stuff, you know what I'm saying? That maybe, you know what I would actually like for them to do is to add jump gates into the game, or that you could work as a community to build jump gates. And I would like for them to take their Starforge engine, whatever their engine for making this system, and do vastly smaller but complex alternate dimensions galaxies, so that are more bespoke, that are more crafted, you know, so fewer sectors, you know, so not as big as all of this. So maybe something that's like 4 sectors, or another one that's like 2, and then another one that's like 3. Procedurally generated with weird shit that's a remix of colors and scenes, almost like something like 2001 Space Odyssey. And in those sectors, they would write mysteries and storylines, like encountering 5th dimensional beings, or seeing like space whales, or you know, anything like that. Dimensional horrors, you know, nightmarish ones. And in this way, you would find these either mysterious jump gates. Some of the jump gates would take you from the Vulcan Gate all the way to, let's say, Arcadian Stream. But some jump gates, though dormant or whatever, take you to these other procedurally generated galaxies. And once you find them, you set them in motion, and then they're like weird and shit. Eve style mechanics there. I don't know. What does that mean, Eve style mechanics? I mean, that's the thing. You know, I also know there's a hyperspace control, but it has no purpose. Uh-huh. 8 galaxies in the original. In Eve? I never played Eve Online. I know that there's like a significant following. Eve has jump gates from system to system. Ah, I see. Yeah, they could do jump gates here. I mean, well, that's the thing. And you know, I wouldn't want to step, obviously, nobody wants to step on Elite's toes. They probably have their own things in motion. Certainly, I wouldn't want to influence anything that they're developing within the bubble, you know, established drama between the Federation Empire, Thargoids, Guardians. By all means, keep that drama going. But I just want them to play with things that are way out there, in all this other room. It just yes, it could have largely nothing in it, but damn, man, there's so much potential, man. You know, to put breadcrumbs that lead into bigger breadcrumbs that lead into massive revelations. You know, and if they did something like that, man, I think they'd get money. I think they'd get a lot of people. You know, even if they propose the possibility of it, I think they'd have people investing more arcs and you know, trying to get them the budget that they need to grow and to build that out. You know, I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna send them something on spec, and then once I get my elite status, I'm gonna propose a exploration challenge. I know there was a lot of people going into the black by themselves, but I would propose a challenge through my YouTube, because eventually I'll be chronicling some stuff out of here on YouTube. To go out to space with a mystery in mind. The store is practically non-existent. No, not unless you're really into power play or reading Galnet, and even then, it's kind of like, it's interesting, and certainly they're books and they're interesting, but they're all happening in the background, and they're not engaging you unless you look at something like Raxla, or, but there's, we don't even know. You know, we don't know if that's in the game or not. You know, it's just like the way that the Thargoids were revealed, the first time that people encountered the Thargoids and were spreading rumors of things that they'd seen, or, you know, the first time that somebody got interdicted, I mean, that was really cool, right? Because I don't think FDev warned anyone that it was coming. And so they need to just do more of that. And it's got to be hard because they need to put this stuff in the game. They need to go to work and do that. So I don't envy them the risk that they would have to take putting man hours into some far-fetched idea, but still, this game is unique and it could have a future, and in that space, by really showing us some things that we've never seen before, and I think you should do it. Let me see here. 3 months out in the black with the Phantom. Wow. Where did you go? Jan 10th, 2023, 0.059% has been discovered, apparently. That's tight. It's a challenge, man. We'll never get there. What is it, 400 billion stars, right? What would it take? Like 1 million people playing? No, not even. I don't even know what it would take. Multiple black holes all over. That scares the shit out of me. Even in a even in a video game. Just the idea of being surrounded by black holes. Oh my god, it scares the shit out of me. you know, but that's cool. That kind of excitement is cool. They just need to do something with it, man. They need, like, witch space, for example. And the idea that what you're hearing is like whispers of what? Explain that shit. There should be something that explores the hidden realm of witch space, presumably where the Thargoids come from or whatever. You know? How would you get there? What would you see? You know, if it's like the Imperium from Warhammer 40k, a lot of crazy shit that would potentially break into this realm if it could. You know, I also believe that the unaccounted for AI that took out the Guardians has got to be the next threat. You know, Scout AA. Okay, collection of wonders. Ooh. Great systems. Sounds intense. Sounds intense. Oh man. Amazing. It only took me 2.5 hours. It took a while to get that scan off. Holy shit. Planet of Death. Are you naming them like that? Is that your naming convention? Or is it Planet of Death in the game? I don't think I've seen Elite name anything like that. You take a notes, you got like a little journal, be like, this was the Planet of Death space. Because that planet almost made me die. That's cool. I'm gonna name one planet Fart Central. Don't know why yet. I'll figure out a reason. This is what they are called, and nicknames? Oh, they are called this. Oh, let me see something. Host to the infamous Planet of Death, name for the extremely hazardous conditions surrounding the planet. Let me see something. Just gonna go out here real quick. Where would you see these names? So white dwarf coming as close as light seconds with a 1-hour orbit. So if you're on the surface of that planet, you could die just by being exposed to that thing. That does seem kind of messed up. Like, how the hell do you land on that in the window, the brief window that you have, just so you could put boots on the thing and then take off before it gets you? Only approach when it is outside the white dwarf's exclusion zone. A fairly narrow window, made even harder by the extreme heat given off by the sun. Yeah, I figured. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge landing. Challenge landing. Systems to visit. Look at these Christmas lights. That's the temple region. That just looks cool. Yep. A lot of shit to do, man. And I don't think people are meant to do it by themselves. You know? I mean, people will do it by themselves. Lots of explorers out there, give you a lot of credit. And I don't. I mean, I think I would just be a little nervous. I'm gonna try it. I will try a solo expedition. And just, you know, pick a direction and go and do a bunch of scanning. But, yeah. Staggering and slightly terrifying. It is slightly terrifying. You know, you don't know where you're gonna run into. And that's the thing. They should have it so that people, on rare occasion, but not super rare, just rare, like, it happens enough that it happens, you know, and nobody's gonna deny it. you're gonna run into some strange shit that you can't explain. You know? Like a sentient black hole. You know, that seems to be moving through space at some weird, you know, like when they were doing the event where the Thargoid Titans were inbound, and you could track their movement through space over a long period of time, and people were like, "What the hell is that?" That shit was cool. And I've seen videos of the atmospheric effects of being in that Titan's presence. And I don't even have to go that far. Just the way in which the fleet carrier arrives out of hyperspace travel, you know, where the misty purple storm gathers before it manifests. That shit is so cool, man. I love that. There's so many style points there. And if you just take that kind of direction and you apply it to phenomenon and discoveries, people are going to be overwhelmed with, I don't know, just this. I mean, really, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. You ran into your first Thargoid the other night, got away with 6% hull. Yikes, bro. It was immediately hostile. What were you doing? Were you carrying something that triggered it? Your Explorer rank to elite 1 so far. Wait, there's 5 ranks of elite. I thought once you get to elite that was it. Oh shit! I didn't realize that there were 5. How many ranks of elite are there? And what do you get at rank 5? It goes up to 5. You had nothing, just traveling, and it was trying to get you. Damn. Spooky, man. 6 pros. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6.
Surface scanned by 50%.
It turned red. Yeah, that's a good reason. That's a good reason. They're fascinating to look at. I love the way that they look and the way that they move, but yeah, a little scary. You know, I was wondering if they were ever gonna go and do, you know, to do the go the full 9 with the Thargoids and show them physically invading, you know, create a new enemy type that we would actually get to see. It seems like kind of necessary at this point. Yeah, this relationship. I mean, I guess you can maintain the kind of aesthetic of the game by keeping it all in space primarily. But with the advent of Odyssey, it seems like you want to fully integrate the Odyssey on foot stuff as a direct companion and parallel to everything that's happening in space for people that now want to fully exploit that, which would indicate that you're dealing with Thargoids. Unless, of course, they just kind of slap together, you know, infected people, you know, the ones that were captured and let go, and that it's basically, let's say, green, smoky looking normal people. You know, they have a little effect and then that's it. It was clearly angry. Yes, you kind of want to get blown away, but like, how are you going to destroy me? This is very interesting right now. I'm very interested in how you're going to eviscerate my ship and vaporize my soul. A new weirder enemy, yeah. More. You know, slowly come to terms with the fact that we're not alone. Now they could tease that out. Every year, they could organize a wider coalition of beings, or every 2 years or something like that, if they decided to really want to take the slow approach and code it right. But my guess is there are severe restrictions to manpower and budget, you know. Becoming allied with against, yeah, I would say against a sentient race of guardian killers, that would make sense. That ultimately what the Thargoids were doing this entire time was just trying to prevent the proliferation of guardian tech that would then signal the AI to come back and finish the job, because the AI fought against the guardians, right? It was from their society, destroyed them. So, and then it disappeared. So like, of course, if guardian tech is up and about, it would be the perfect signal for the sentient to come back and be like, I thought I killed you guys, and then see no distinction, or maybe they would see similarities between the original guardian race and humanoids in how they're choosing to use the technology, seeing as there's only a threat to ourselves, constantly warring with each other, all that stuff, you know. And the Thargoids, you know, for all we know, they are, you know, they can spot evil when they see it, you know, and they don't have any other means of communicating with us, so they went to war to try to stop us, you know, because we got our hands on guardian tech. It was the guardian tech that was triggering them from the earliest accounts. So, you know, now I'm all ears for a more reasonable explanation, or sensible or lore friendly one, because I probably don't know all the details. I know that humanity encountered the Thargoids earlier. I don't know if it's in the 1984 elite, but certainly in the period before the current elite dangerous. So, you know, there's something about them, and I don't know if they're just hostile to be hostile or whatever. But creating a new dynamic with some more factions would make sense. And the ship would run into them. Yeah, no, I think at this point they're just in open war with us. You know, I mean, you don't know. Maybe red is their high color. Hello. Or maybe they're just warning you, because they didn't send out any missiles at you. Oh no, you said 6% hull. So you got hit with something. You got hit. Right? You didn't, I mean, it wasn't like you damaged your own ship, right? They were firing at you? It was firing at you? Got so nervous. There's a movie called Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. And in the movie, it's a dark comedy. They're good to attack when red. Oh, okay, got it. In the movie Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, there's these hillbillies in the swamp that are good natured, and they but they get mistaken for like a family of like Texas Chainsaw style killers by this group of college students. And the whole funny thing about the movie is that the college students are, you know, believing in the stereotypes so fiercely, behave in stupid and erratic ways that actually get them killing themselves. But then you know, the way that the murders happen is that they think they're being hunted. You know, like the remaining college students will find one dead and be like, oh no, they got killed this way and that way. And really it's just that they were that guy was so scared that he tripped on something or fell into an alligator's mouth or whatever the case is, and they think that they're being hunted. But the entire time they've just been killing themselves out of fear. And Tucker and Dale, who are like, yeah, they're hillbillies, but they're okay, they're good guys. They're actually trying to save them, and it's just this hijinks that shows up. So I don't know, it just came to mind that a Thargoid probably wouldn't have to do much to get me to accidentally crash into the sun. Oh, there was two of them. Well, they were working together to get you. You didn't start to see what they were firing. Yeah, like, by the way, that does look interesting. Quite sparkly. Thargoids. They are pretty cool. I'm gonna get a crate MK2 so I can mess around with them. I hear it's a good chip for fighting them. And as I was saying before, these new ships that are coming out, I wonder what they're going to be good for. You know. Angry space flowers. It's a cool idea. It's nifty. I wouldn't have thought of it. When I think of space monsters of any kind, I'm almost always drawn to the Lovecraftian interpretations. Like, there's going to be tentacles. There's going to be tentacles involved. You know. You need to engineer it. Engineering. There's like a constant call, I noticed, to have engineering be reworked. Because right now it's like not fun or something. I haven't done any engineering. I don't know anything about it. So I'm like a complete noob. I don't know if it's going to be a problem, but it does not seem to be popular. Oh yeah. Yeah. Lovecraft, man. Like, his contribution to the horror and sci-fi space is crazy. And I wonder if he knew that it was going to be that frontier is going to be so captivating. I mean, I guess he had to know. But, yeah, that's good. Obviously in this sense that we're attracted to what terrifies us.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
The pre-engineered FSD was a boon. Explain what's a pre-engineered FSD. What's that? And why is that better than an engineered? Like, how does that work? What is pre-engineered? Isn't that just like a non-engineered normal module or piece of equipment? I've been meaning to look that up. You purchase it from a trader? For what? For credits? You just pay him in cash? Oh, specific materials. Okay. So, oh shit. So if you buy that, is that like an interim that holds you until you get an engineered one, or is it superior? Like, is this still valuable to get one engineered, or is that seen as like an upgrade to the engineered one, moving away from engineered tech? Four. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
It's a great upgrade. So it's an upgrade to the engineered. So we'll jump 6. Okay, that's cool. So would you benefit from having the engineered first? Or do you try to just go straight for the pre-engineered? You know, does the engineered give you what you need to find those materials to then get the pre-engineered, or can you do it without it? I guess I'm just trying to think of like what they intended progression-wise from a development standpoint. You know, did they mean for people to skip over certain account milestones? It's slightly better than the one you engineer yourself, and it's less heavy on materials. Okay. All right, but okay, so how easy is it to then get those materials to build it if you don't have an engineered FSD yet? Like, do you need to be able to travel and do stuff in order to get them? Is this stuff rare and it takes you out into like weird places? I guess I'm just trying to understand, like, would they make something that makes the engineered stuff obsolete? Or crashed anacondas? Does that mean destroying anacondas in space battles? Like that? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Pre-engineered. I mean, is it just part of the power creep? Is it just like them saying, okay, well, you guys, many of the, you know, no-lifers, let's just say, or people that are really dedicated have already kind of reached the point where they don't need to work on their ship anymore, so let's add something new. Hmm. That page, I don't have links enabled. Or are you just saying, what are you saying? What page? Oh, I see. What do you mean, like websites to go check stuff out? Hey Xavier, how you doing? Surprisingly flat. Okay. So where do the pre-engineered modules fit in? Are they the next step after engineered modules, or do you just now skip the engineering process and go for pre-engineered directly? Oh, I see. Just the FSD. Hmm. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Oh, you can't engineer them to begin with. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, here we go. Too fast. 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
I don't use it, unfortunately. Yeah, I think there may come a time as I experience perhaps frustrating, moments of the game, not having my hand held, maybe being asked for some obscure item or another, where I'll be Googling and potentially using Inara or whatever websites will help. I haven't deferred to any websites yet because I'm still in that, like, I don't need my hand held, I can figure this out type of mindset. That's not even quite the mindset. The mindset is I'm already immersed and my hands are full. So I don't want a guide potentially spoiling the nuances of adaptation. So for example, if I get into mining, I know that over trial and error, I'm gonna understand why to do things a certain way, or at least the way that I prefer to do things, and I kind of like arriving there. But that's not to say I'll never use it. Like, I have plenty of moments where I'm just like, I just need to get past this moment and I need some answers. So let's go here and figure it out, move on. So it depends. Depends what I'm into, that particular session. And I'm not sure. We could push it a little bit. I wonder what. I wonder what is gonna be the biological signal. There's only one. Is it gonna be bacteria again? Bacterium is the most common. Freaking bacterium. Bacterium is everywhere. Space is dirty, apparently. Dirty ass space. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting that I'll be searching stuff up on the preferred websites when I run into something that's needlessly unclear and frustratingly daunting, and I'm sure that'll happen. I'll need to find efficiencies just to keep my sanity. but not so much yet. Oh, yeah. Okay. I would say after I discovered Elite a few years ago, that's kind of like how I've been doing it off and on. Slowly piecing together the process of how this game works and what might be some things that I get out of it. It's interesting when a game does that to you. Like, it's cool enough to get your interest, but not clear enough for you to get a grasp on it right off the bat. One, three. All right.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Bacterium. The question. Let me see something. Discoveries. So, all right. So, question. And the question I have is, when you see a discovery of a biological or or whatever in a system, once you found it within the system, you found it for all of the system. You don't have to find out multiple planets within a system, right? So I'm thinking. So like, what was this? This was blue. What is the one? Confirm. So I just. Aquamarine, cyan, cobalt, magenta. So I confirmed. Wait a second. Okay, so this is interesting. He reported magenta in this area, in this system, and I confirmed it in this system. That's so fucking weird. So you only, so if I found, if I'm in front of a planet right now that has a biological system. If it's magenta, I don't get anything for scanning it again, right? Because technically I've already found it. I would need to find a unique you know, like for example, each planet counts as unique. Huh. It all counts? Okay. I'm debating whether or not I want to go down and try again. Even because there's a different, you'll get the full value. It does take a while, and there's no sunlight here, man. If I go looking for bacterium, I'm going in the dark. To like walk around in circles and whatnot, you know, it's a pain. Exobiology is a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. But then again, you get exobiology experience, and that goes to your link, which is your rank rather, and that's kind of nice. And then I don't know, do you get anything for high ranks other than just the cool picture? I mean, it's there. You should always land on the day side. There's no day side. There's no starlight in this system. Change your ship mode? What do you mean? Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, let me get out of here. Ah, I see. So technically this area over here is the daylight side. Okay. So then this is kind of daylight side. I wonder what it's pointing at. Let me see something. So is this casting? Is this nebula-like thing casting the light that is bouncing off of the planet? Main star in the system. Yeah, okay.
Orbital flight
Probably throttle up, get down on the ground and see what we see. When I was in actual daylight with like a star that gave off light, I was able to find them pretty easily. You know, so and my cargo is full, so I can't even pick up shit. I'm just gonna drop down and I'm just gonna see if I can find it. Okay. Okie dokie. Maybe we'll get lucky. What do you think? Maybe we'll get lucky. Let's get lucky. Let's get very lucky.
Landing gear deployed.
Okay. Deploy.
Low gravity warning.
Let's turn this off. Maybe we want to see it. Alright, I think we want to just go. I think we want to go in this general direction. Alright. What are the chances? We go in this direction towards the light and see what we want to see. Given that the whole planet can have what we're looking for. I wonder if it's... That seems more lit than the rest of this area right here. This way? Alright, let's see. Nice flat terrain. This is usually the kind of space that you would expect to see bacteria, just kind of like out in the middle of shit. I mean, I have found it like that. I was actually able to catch it.
Drive assist on. Drive assist off.
If I turn on drive assist, what does that mean? I just gotta remember also that what I'm looking for doesn't have a highlight like these rocks show. Okay. Oh. Let's see what it is. It's like here. Oh, it's all this shit. It's these patches. Cobalt.
Extremely low temperature detected.
So oh man. So faint. So faint. Sure. Yeah, yeah, you said it. You said it. It always wants to go into a turn. You have to, like it's like one of his wheels is bad.
Handbrake is off.
The upcoming updates. Yeah, I've seen the notes. I've seen the notes, and I'm noticing that. Oh, I think I saw another one.
Handbrake is on.
I've noticed that general sentiment is very positive. Cellar Alex called the cat.
Warning. Extremely low temperature detected.
All right, 2 out of 3 got. Okay, cool.
Handbrake is on.
All right, smooth. Looking extremely good. It looks good. Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty. I wonder what it's gonna be good at though. Did they say like what role it might fill? Is it meant to beat something else in the game? Is it meant to excel at a new occupation? Is it like, is it gonna be what allows you to keep up with a certain new threat? Like what's the, you know, like when they make a ship, what do you think the role is filling? We got new ships? Yeah, yeah, no, I get it. I'm just curious. I'm just speculating. You know, I know they want to end the Thargoid War, whatever that means. And I know, because I mean, I don't see the complete disappearance of the Thargoids. So I'm sort of curious how like they're gonna finesse both ending the war and somehow still making use of all the content that they've created. Or new ships, that's right. And a couple of new features or mechanics that they have yet to announce. Which could mean anything. True, but you know. It's nice we'll get some story, some lore revealed. Could have swore I saw something. Alright, I got 2 out of 3 again. Let's see if we can get one more for the Whole planet dries up on us.
Handbrake is on.
Oh, we found it.
Warning. Extremely low temperature detected.
All right, we got it. Cool, man. Cool. That was so much easier. Hey, thanks for the tip about getting into the daylight side. Okay. This was way cool. Okay. All right.
Ship recalled.
I've got to this is a book called Blind Sight. Man, see now I want to go and read some hard sci-fi and collect scenarios that would be cool to fit into different sectors, man. That'd be so cool. I feel like I got a little project in front of me, man. All right, solid, man, solid. Okay, system. Now I think I can get uh, the last orbital body scanned.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charged.
And up we go, baby.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Oh shit. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Wait. Be patient. Novus. No contacts in range. Where'd he go? I outpaced him. Become a freelance writer for FDev. I wonder if that's even a thing. You think that's a thing? Like, I know that a studio would probably have some sort of channels to receive writing on spec for, I don't know, quests or some part of the narrative or something like that. But I would imagine that those channels are like pretty unique and supported by established channels, you know, like we know a guy who knows a guy, that's the guy who does our stuff, that sort of thing. We don't need everybody and their mom sending in their, like, you know, fanfic. We got a folder in the back of great ideas. It's got 3 inches of dust on it, you know. I think if I were to do it, I would more do it to entertain fans of Elite with the possibilities, and then maybe, I don't know, draw attention to, you know, of course there's like, I don't know, whatever. There's always a possibility. I just don't, everything that I've read about narrative design professions is that it's like super like vague to get into, and you know, usually not well paid or anything like that. I don't even know how people manage that, you know, as a gig. 1, 2, 3. And now with like AI coming into the equation, even more so, I feel like, you know, actually paying writers or even just accepting work from writers is like going to be a moot point in the near future. Oh, freaking K. We have finished with this system. Whoa, man. Whoa. Unbelievable. Took a minute. Took a dang minute. But we got what we were looking for. Learned some things along the way. One more system in local space that we've got to beat on, even though I'll never have to go back there. Okay, I'm in T. Before I get into scanning and doing other stuff here, I think I'm gonna find a place to go. What's this? 961. McDevitt Vision. They have commodities. Yeah. Okay. Gotta empty my cargo. Gotta empty my cargo, and then I can begin the process here. There's a place with like 2 biological signals, I think, on one of the planets. That's it. Oh, shit. Wasn't paying attention. Yes, around this hour is to get lost in thought. Smashing into outposts and space stations. Lost in thought. That's my excuse. Alright. Nothing in my inventory is, okay, good. Shouldn't have any problems settling in. McDevitt Vision.
Docking request granted.
Alright, coming in.
Lighting gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Alright, fantastic, man. SRV got refueled. Everything's refueled, baby. Let's go to commodities and sell, baby. Explosives, pesticides, superconductors, beryllium, gold, platinum, moissanite, half a fate.
Incoming message.
Computer components, resonating separators, scrap. Cool. Narcotics. Occupied escape pod. Contacts. Search and rescue. Offload. Okay. Fantastic. $5 mil for all in die. Cool, man. All right. Let me see here. Just checking what they've got to sell in their outfitting. I probably have checked here before, but I'm looking for a passenger cabin. Looking for thrusters. 4A thrusters. Everything else is alright. 3A sensors. There you go. Why would you need two vehicles? I guess if you have a second person rolling with you, then you could put two vehicles up. A 3A generator, a $500,000. Yeah, it's close. Mass goes down, integrity goes up, optimal strength, all that stuff. What is this? Power draw goes up? Yeah, by a lot. Optimal hull mass. That's okay. You can lose one from damage sustained from traveling. I see. Shield strength. Optimal strength goes up 120%, but the optimal hull mass and maximum hull mass goes down. And my regen rate Jameson Memorial for all items. I don't think I have access to that system. Two vehicles for more planet time. I see. What am I doing? I have a 4E shield generator. I'm comparing it to the 3 class rather than the 4 class. What am I doing? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Okay. All right, so that's it. There's no. I don't think I need a refinery. Oh, I have a refinery here. Yeah, no, I'm good to go. I don't think I need to change anything. Okay. I wonder if they come up. Are there any different vehicles besides the Scarab? There's only one planetary vehicle, and it's the Scarab, and that's it. There's the Scorpion. The Scorpion is an upgrade. Okay. Black Widow, reputation status too friendly. Oh. Oh, that's because I was selling here in the system. Ah. Benito Campos. Claim my salary of 1,000 credits. Eventually get to work for her. I got some things I gotta do. Okay. Whoa. Let's take a look at the system here. System map. Now. You mapped, then I mapped, 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 mapped. Okay. Mapped. 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 So it was 5 that it didn't map. Scarab is the only one, as far as I know. Okay. But is it an upgrade? Here's the biological 5C. Okay, so starting with 5, this is the remainder of this zone that I have to scan. Okay. Alright, cool. Well, I'm here now. Great. I'll be able to do that, no problem. But I'm not going to do it now. We're almost 4 hours in, which means I'm a little bit past the time that I was going to spend. Side grid is more for combat. It's, oh, interesting. I wonder. Okay, that's something to think about. But yeah, I'm out. That's the session. The session for this morning. All right. Good news, man. We got past that hump. I can't wait to finish scanning, get back to Chamberlain's Rest, and continue questing as normal. You know, because I like to break it up. You know, I'll do some system scanning, surface scanning, some exobiology, and then I'll go and I'll do other stuff. I'll do some combat stuff, do some trade, you know, things like that. So it has a minigun and a missile launcher. Well, damn. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. When the hell are you getting into it like that with people? Because I mean, oh, you know what? There must be some high threat stuff that you run into when you're down on planets and you need to blow the shit up out of, like, I wonder if you're dealing with enemy SRVs, like AI. Cause it's just been crews, and I just usually shoot the shit out of the crews on the way to me. I don't really have a problem, but it's like threat 0 and threat 1, so maybe threat 5 and 6 is a problem. That's why you need a Scorpion. Lots to learn and figure out. Lots to learn and figure out. Okay? Daylight trick today helped a lot. We were patient and persistent. You know, got out of that system, made some money, came up with some plans and ideas that FDev is not obligated to be interested in at all, but could be fun for us. Okay, nevertheless, I'm sleepy. Guys, Crass, Xavier, and a shout out to Star earlier, who was here. Thanks, guys, for being my company this morning, and I'll see you on the next cast, hopefully. Good luck out there. Fly well, fly safe. Sparks in the dark. And catch y'all on the next show. Peace out. And thanks for being here again. Laters.